In today's video, I'm going to be showing you guys my 6-year Fortnite controller progression. We're going to be going over almost every season since chapter 1, showing you guys how much I improved, what I played to get better, my placements, and much more. This video won't be too long, but if you can get 2K likes on this video, at the end of this chapter, I will make an updated progress video that's even longer and with a lot more detail. 85% of you guys watching aren't subscribed, so hey, if you can tolerate seeing my face on your feed every couple of days, hit that sub button. The earliest gameplay I can find on my channel is from season 7, but trust me, you guys do not want to see that gameplay from season 2 to season 5. I was straight up casual, and Fortnite definitely wasn't my strongest suit back then. After season 5, I actually quit the game because I was pretty bored, so I only played season 6 a handful of times. This kind of sucked though, because I'm pretty sure season 6 is when they brought out custom controller binds. So by the time I decided to come back to the game, I was definitely a bit behind. I don't know what happened, but when I started playing Fortnite again in season 7, I absolutely loved the game. Like, it was at the point where I was using my grandmother's credit card just to buy V-Bucks. During winter break, I was playing all day with the boys. I had joined a friend group of Xbox Win Leaderboard grinders, so they were literally always on and ready to grind. Season 7 was when I first started streaming, and this was when my content journey really began. Going into chapter 1 season 8, I started grinding the Xbox Win leaderboards. I played a ton of solos, and I was winning the majority of my games. I also grinded a bit of content in streaming, and even 4 years ago, I was still making videos testing pro controller settings. Chapter 1 season 9 was when I stopped grinding wins, since I didn't really think it was helping me improve. Plus, I wanted to focus more on just growing my stream. I did a ton of customs and creative viewer games. Customs didn't really help me get better, but my mechanics definitely improved by playing creative. I finally got a PC this season, and this made a crazy difference. I was also able to play more real games instead of creative, since I was getting way higher FPS now. This season, I got my first earnings in a $1 million Xbox tournament that I went back on console to compete in. Chapter 1 Season X, I found myself improving even more. It was a summer break, so I had a lot more time to game. Plus, the next year, I only had 4 classes, so I was only in school 23 times a week. The constant map changes were super annoying this season, so I remember spending a lot of time in creative, rebuilding, trying to learn some new retakes. When I could though, I would play scrims with my trio. These are a couple of my comp placements this season, nothing really too impressive. I played a lot in Chapter 2 Season 1. This is the season I switched from legacy to linear, which gave me really good mechanics. I got my second earnings this season in the Winter Royale tournament, which put me at 1.1k earned. This gave me a ton of motivation, and I started playing a lot more scrims than I was before. Towards the end of this season though, the game got really boring, so when I would get on, it was just to do some 1v1s. I made a big skill jump in Chapter 2 Season 2. Aim assist was crazy OP, and I was taking full advantage. This season, I started playing a lot more Soul Arena. Like, I'll play Soul Arena for at least 34 hours a day, which improved my confidence like crazy. Like I said, aim assist was super crazy this season, so this is probably the best my aim has ever been. These are my events from this season. I was playing almost every tourney and grinding out those daily cups with my duo soup. Even though the mythics and aim assist was super OP this season, I actually really enjoyed it. It's super nostalgic, especially due to quarantine. I didn't really enjoy Chapter 2 Season 3 very much. I didn't improve a ton this season since aim assist got nerfed like crazy, and I spent most of my time trying to get used to it. Also, I had to get used to that new charged shotgun. I definitely didn't get worse, since I was never the type of control player to jump in and just rely on aim assist, but I definitely don't think I got better. These are my events from that season. Definitely did worse than last in terms of placements. This season, I was still playing Soul Arena, but for only about 2 hours before I just got off. Chapter 2 Season 4 was my favorite Fortnite season of all time. My aim and pitch control this season was next level, and I was definitely ahead of most control players. I was back in my grind this season like how I was in Chapter 2 Season 2, and here's what my events looked like for that season. Chapter 2 Season 5 was my first season of arena grinding. This was the first time I really blew up. I was playing almost 8 hours every day of straight arena. The only time I would ever touch creative was just to warm up, but as soon as I was warmed up, I hopped straight into a real game. I ended the season on 230k arena points, and here's what my events looked like for this season. We did terrible in Frosty Frenzy, which was definitely super demotivating. We didn't do too bad in FNCS, but definitely not close enough to place it. Chapter 2 Season 6 was my second season of arena grinding. I still play competitive this season, but it was super scuffed, and my teammate literally didn't even wake up for one of the weeks. At this point, my socials were growing like crazy, and I honestly just didn't see a point in grinding comp anymore. This season was when we really started to see how much arena grinding helped me improve my game sets. I started predicting players like crazy, and just all around making a really smart plays. I didn't really play much creative this season either, unless I was just warming up. Before the end of this season, I was able to get 180,000 arena points. I was playing about 4 to 6 hours a day this season. Chapter 2 Season 7 was a summer season, and actually a really fun season. I actually saw a ton of improvement in my mechanics. I had some really clean clips using pitch control, and I actually didn't grind as much this season because I was a bit distracted. Also, by this point, I really was now playing competitive. My main concern was just growing my stream and growing my TikTok. Regardless though, I was able to end the season with over 260,000 arena points. This was also the season I started playing larger team game modes like trios, since Epic made it where you can get more points in these. Chapter 2 Season 8 was a pretty dry season, at least to me. This was actually the first season in a while where I was actually pretty washed. I didn't really improve much. Like, my piece control was still solid, but overall, my confidence in my gameplay had definitely went down. I was still able to get 100k arena points this season though, which wasn't too bad considering this season was pretty shit. In Chapter 3 Season season 1, I was back grinding. I was playing 6 hours a day minimum, sometimes even doing 24-hour sessions on stream. Since I was playing so much, I had crazy confidence in my gameplay. I also had people to play with on a consistent basis, so I really wasn't getting bored of the game. This is when I started shying away from solos and playing more team game modes. This season was super fun. Arena grinding was at its peak, and webs made the game really fast paced. Before the season ended, I was at 350k arena points. Chapter 3 season 2 started really well for me. I was super motivated, but once points reset, I fell off my grind. I was getting washed again, and I was actually on the verge of quitting. I didn't have as many people to play with as I did before, and overall, I was getting really bored of the game. Despite all of that though, I still got to 150k arena points. Chapter 3 season 3 though, the grind was cooked. My socials were dying, and I did not enjoy the game one bit. I would literally have to force myself to get on, and with this, I started getting a lot worse. They actually ruined the arena grind this season by making the queue super long for champ players. So as you probably guessed, I did not hit 100k arena points this season. In chapter 3 season 4, I decided to quit and get a job. I was working minimum wage at Dollar General. It was trash, but luckily, I was able to get a job at Target shortly after. Also, I decided to enroll in college. I only touched the game a couple times this season, and even though I would always tell people that I'm coming back, at the back of my mind, I thought it was all over. Chapter 4 season 1 was when I finally decided to make my comeback, although it was a lot harder than I thought it would be. I decided to drop out of school and just work while grinding my socials, and at first, I was super duper motivated, but as time went on, I lost a lot of that motivation, and I realized I was nowhere as good as I used to be. Towards the end of the season, I actually decided to enroll back into school since I didn't really think the comeback was possible. I improved a bit from last season in chapter 4 season 2. My mechanics were definitely getting a lot more consistent, but my confidence was nowhere near where it used to be. Like at times, I would get nervous, but before I quit, I would rarely ever get nervous. Also, when I came back, I stopped playing solo arena altogether. I played late game arena when I was a thing, but I mainly just played team game modes, which in hindsight, this definitely wasn't the best decision since solos are 100% the best way to improve. Chapter 4 season 3 was when I started going a bit more on YouTube and TikTok, which definitely gave me a ton of motivation to grind the game again. I was playing a ton of ranked and I was top 100 on Real. I actually ended up quitting my job. That way, I could spend the summer just working on my socials and enjoying the weather. Sadly though, I did go through some personal issues during this season though, which definitely did affect my grind, but this actually turned out to be a blessing in disguise. I honestly didn't enjoy OG Fortnite as much as I thought I would. The nostalgia feeling was really nice, but I was on such a content grind this season, I didn't really have time to play the game as much as I wanted to. I honestly wouldn't say I improved at all this season. I pretty much just stagnated for the most part. I was able to hit on Real just a couple days before the rank reset. Chapter 5 season 1 though was when I finally started to see some actual improvement for the first time since I had come back from quitting. This season made me realize that my gameplay honestly just depends on how much I play. Like if I'm not playing the game on a consistent basis, I'm gonna be trash. So I started forcing myself to play solos, and even though I was getting pissed on at first, I started doing a lot better and winning a ton more games. I got a lot smarter with my peaks as well. I was going for way more right hand peaks than I did before, and of course, I was able to hit on Real this season, although I definitely didn't hit it as soon as I should have. Now flash forward to today, chapter 5 season 2. I haven't been enjoying the game too much because of the lightning bolt and snipers, but regardless, did you go through my socials, I've had a ton of motivation to grind the game and get better since I know a lot of you guys look up to me. And even though I do not play comp, since I find it pretty boring now, I do still want to be good at the game because I'm not trying to be one of those content creators that's entertaining but trash. Well, that's my 6-year Fortnite progress. Like I said, I didn't want to make this video too long, but 2k likes, now we'll drop another video like this that's twice the length. Shout out to my boy Vortex. If you want to shout out my next video, comment code BIGNESS 3 separate times.